This is where things get forgotten. High in the mountains where the air is too thin for memories to last, the forest takes everything back. Look down. Those tracks, swallowed by ferns and shadow, they didn't just lead somewhere once. They were the main line, the lifeblood. Now, they're just a scar, overgrown and cold. The silence here isn't peaceful, it's heavy. It's the quiet of an ending no one stayed to hear. This is the perfect place to hide a secret, or to lose one forever. Now, push in, slow, through the pine branches that claw at the lens, past the thick curtain of undergrowth. There's a shape there that the greenery doesn't quite hide. It's too straight, too angular. Nature doesn't make perfect right angles. The camera finds a gap, and the truth comes into focus. It's an engine, not just old, ancient. The rust isn't a stain, it's a new skin, thick and crusted in orange. Bushes grow right through his wheels. Trees lean against his side like they're holding him up, or maybe holding him prisoner. This was Thomas. You can just see the ghost of that familiar blue under the corrosion, like a tattoo on a skeleton. He's been here, in this exact spot, for decades, waiting for someone who never came back. Come closer. Let's look him in the eye. This is the hardest part. His face, the friendly, rounded face from the storybooks, is gone. In its place is a landscape of decay. Rust has carved canyons across his cheeks. Moss, thick and emerald green, fills the hollows where his eyes should be, spilling over like sad, living tears. Deep cracks, black as coal, split the metal around his smile, a smile that's been erased, leaving only a grim, lipples line. The paint, what's left of it, is a pale, sickly blue, flaking away in jagged shards. His eyes, they're the worst. Not just empty, hollowed out. They're dark pits where rainwater collects and beetles swim. There's no life here, no spark, just the profound, heavy decay of something that has been utterly, completely abandoned. This isn't a face you remember, it's a face that haunts you. To understand the depth of the ruin, you have to get even closer, macro close. On the surface of his boiler, the story unfolds in textures. The blue paint doesn't just chip, it peels back in great curled sheets, like the bark of a dying tree. Underneath, the rust has built up in layer after geological layer. Flaky orange, coarse brown, deep bloody red. A corroded bolt head is nothing but a melted lump of oxide. The metal itself isn't smooth anymore. It's a moonscape of pits and craters, each one a tiny victory for the rain and the acid in the air. Touch this and it would crumble to dust. This is metal that has forgotten it was ever strong. Time starts to move faster. The light shifts. Workers arrive, their bright vests a shocking insult to the green and gray world. They move with a quiet purpose. This isn't a rush job, it's an excavation. In a time lapse, we see their progress. Machetes rise and fall, severing thick vines that have wrapped around the buffers like boa constrictors. Brush cutters whine, flattening the tall grass that has grown up through the chassis. They pull away great armfuls of foliage, revealing more and more of the rusted hulk beneath. They're not rescuing him yet. They're uncovering the full scope of the tragedy. Each cleared patch reveals another dent, another hole, another forgotten detail of the engine that was. With the clearing done, the mood changes. The cinematic light turns golden, low, and serious. This is the point of no return. Heavy, grease-black chains are fed carefully under his frame. They clink with a weighty, final sound. A massive crane, its tracks sinking into the soft forest floor, rumbles to life. The chains are hooked, the cables tension. Workers step back, their faces a mix of concentration and awe. This moment is fragile. That metal could be weaker than anyone thinks. Attaching the chains is an act of faith. It's saying, we believe you're still in there, solid enough to hold on. The lift happens in breathless slow motion. The crane engine groans. The cables sing a high, tight note. For a second, nothing. Then a deep, shuddering crack from the earth. The ground itself seems to cling to him. And then he rises. Dirt, a century of composted leaves, and a tangled net of roots shower down. His wheels leave perfect deep graves in the soil. He swings, a pendulum of forgotten history, clearing the bushes by inches. He is airborne, detached from the earth that tried to consume him. The rust seems to glow in the slanted light. This isn't just movement, it's a resurrection of possibility. The journey out is a tense, winding ballet. A wide shot from a cliff shows the truck, a tiny beetle on a thread of road, navigating a treacherous mountainside. The golden rusted engine strapped to its back looks both colossal and fragile. Every hairpin turn, every narrow pass is a calculated risk. He's been still for 50 years, and now he's moving at speed, past dizzying drops and through tunnels of rock. He's leaving the wilderness, but he's carrying its silence with him, a ghost in plain sight. He arrives as dusk settles. The destination isn't a shiny museum, it's an old brick industrial workshop, the kind of place with grease stains on the walls and a permanent haze of dust in the air. The doors screech open, and he's rolled into the gloom. The environment is dark, gritty, real. Tools line the walls, half-finished projects lurk in corners. This is a mechanical ICU. The air smells of cutting oil, welding smoke, and effort. Under the stark, unforgiving glare of the overhead work lights, he is parked in the center of the bay. The doors closed with a resonant boom. The outside world is gone. Now we see him, the true before shot. No forgiving fog, no soft forest light, just the harsh, honest light of the workshop. And it is brutal. Every single flaw is highlighted. The holes where metal has rusted completely through, the twisted frame, the wheels frozen solid, the face that is less a face and more a relief map of ruin. He stands perfectly still, a monument to damage. He is the very definition of forgotten. This image is the baseline, the 0 point. Everything that comes after will be measured against this moment of complete and total brokenness. This is what they're starting with. It seems impossible. The rebirth begins with a scream, not of pain, but of pressure. A time-lapse shows the high-pressure water jet, a wand unleashing a liquid laser. It touches the caked-on mud of 50 years, and the dirt doesn't wash away. It explodes off in a brown tsunami. Thick mats of moss vanish into green mist. Layers of grime, bird lime, and ancient pollen are stripped away in seconds. The water cuts through the forest's claim like it's nothing. It's violent, shocking, and cathartic. Underneath the filth, the true, complex texture of the decay is revealed. The rest is wet now, gleaming darkly, but the shape beneath is undeniably an engine. It's the first real cleaning he's had in half a century, and it's more of an assault than a bath. Then the orchestra of restoration begins, the screaming whine of the angle grinder. Close up, it's pure drama. A shower of sparks, bright as welding rods, erupts in a horizontal torrent as the disc bites into a thick scale of rust on the boiler. Each spark is a tiny piece of the past being forcefully ejected. The sound is industrial, angry, and beautiful. Wire brushes follow, their metallic scratch scraping away the loosened corrosion, revealing patches of bare, pock-marked steel where the famous blue used to be. This isn't careful work, it's aggressive archaeology. They're digging for the original metal, and they're willing to fight for every inch. And then, a moment of quiet revelation. They wipe his face clean. The water and grinding are done, and there it is. Not the monster from the woods, but the face of the machine. The metal is visible, steel gray, dented, scarred, but solid. The shape is unmistakable. The curve of the cheekbone, the arch of the brow, the hollow eye sockets now clean and empty, waiting. For the first time in decades, you can see the engineering. You can see the designer's hand. This is the ghost of Thomas, yes, but more importantly, it's the proof that something survived. The skeleton of his identity has been found. The dismantling becomes a meticulous ritual. A time-lapse captures the wheels coming off. The frame is jacked up. Impact wrenches rattle, shocking seized bolts loose with concussive blows. One by one, the 6 massive corroded wheels are freed, rolled away with a hollow, mournful rumble, and placed in a precise, mournful line on the concrete floor. They look like ancient stone wheels from a lost civilization. Removing them is a profound act. It renders him utterly helpless, completely dependent. He is no longer an engine that could, in theory, roll. He is now purely a project, a collection of problems to be solved. They open him up. The lighting turns cinematic, industrial lights positioned to cast long, dramatic shadows into the cavities they create. The boiler cladding is unbolted and lifted away by a chain hoist, revealing the inner boiler shell, itself